Welcome back to Joe's Math Tools, where math is made easy. In this session, this is part 2 on adding our fractions with unlike denominators. And if you're ready to see how to get this done, let's get started. So this is now part 2 on adding our mixed fractions. Now for this question, I particularly wanted to do a part 2 because in looking at our fractions, sometimes we look at the question and we overthink it sometimes and we work a little bit too hard. Now there is another way that we could have worked this question out, and I'm not talking about the butterfly or the cross multiplication method or even changing our fractions to improper. But we're going to be using the LCD method for this exact same questions, but we're going to be using two different fractions. Well, one different fraction actually, because only one of our fractions will be changing. Now, in looking at my first fraction that I have, which is 3 and 3 6. Now, I don't know if any of you noticed in the first video, some of you may have, some of you may not have, some of you may not even have considered it, but this fraction can actually be simplified. So what I'm going to do now, since 6 and 3 has a common factor in 3, is I'm going to simplify my fraction by using the number 3. So I will be dividing 3 into 3, which will equal to 1, and I'm dividing 6 by 3, which will equal to 2. And then I'm going to return my whole number, since I did not touch this number, back to my mixed fraction. So now that I have simplified the fraction, I'm going to plug that fraction right back into my question, and then we're going to follow the same steps that we did earlier. Now, if you worked through the first fraction where we did our LCD and then we went through the conversion, why don't you pause this video and then challenge yourself to calculate your mixed fractions instead of just watching me and going through the steps as I do. Challenge yourself today. See if you can work with the question and get the exact same answer that we did in the first video in this one as well. Remember, the numbers may be different. This is just another equivalent form to 3, 6, but our answers should still be the same. Okay, so I hope that you pause the video and work through the question for yourself. And now I'm going to work through it, and let's see if we arrive at the exact same answer. So as always, I am going to begin by adding my whole numbers like I usually do. So I'm adding my whole numbers now of 3 plus 1, which will equal to 4. Remember, we're leaving 4 at the side until we're done. And now we're going to focus on our fractional part of 1/2 and 2/5. And in this video, I will not be going through all of the steps that I did where I worked out the questions separately, but rather I'm going to go straight to my LCD, add the numbers, and then combine our answer back together. So in looking at our numbers now of 5 and 2, we need to find our LCD, which is our lowest common denominator, or our LCM, which is our lowest common multiple of 2 and 5. And our LCD or LCM of 2 and 5 is equal to 10. So we're now going to change the denominator on both of my fraction to 10, and then we're going to go through our steps to finding our equivalent fraction. So remember that we said that we multiply 2 times 5 to get 10. I'm also going to multiply my numerator of 5, my numerator of 1 to 5 as well. So 1 times 5 will give me 5. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other fraction. So 5 times 2 gives us 10 in the denominator, and we're multiplying 2 times 2 to get 4 in our numerator. And when we add 5 plus 4 in our numerators, remember we add the numerators, which is our top numbers, and we keep the denominator of 10 exactly the same. So I'm adding 5 plus 4, which will equal to 9, And my solution when I sum my fractions would be 9, 10. Now, remember that we did have a whole number part to our fraction and we added mixed fractions. So our whole number is 4. So for my final answer, my whole number is 4 and my fractional part is 9/10. And remember, as I said in the other video, as you work through fractions, you kind of eliminate a lot of the steps that you use. Because remember that even the step that I did with listing my LCM, if you're someone that knows your timetable, you don't have to write LCM or LCD at the side and then indicate that it's 10. You can kind of go straight into your working and then just convert your fraction to your equivalent form. So remember that as you get better in your steps for adding and subtracting and calculating your fractions in general, a lot of the steps that I am using on the screen, you will not have to do when you're working because you already know the rules, you already know the steps, and you already know the process. But for my persons who are struggling or new to adding fractions, mixed fractions and particularly, remember the steps are here to make life a little bit easier for you and to help the process go a whole lot smoother. So I hope this step and this video was very helpful to you. Remember, as always, get some additional practice in and I'll see you right here in the next video on Jules Math Tools, where we aim to make math easy.